Welcome back to the channel, folks, for another episode in the 5-minute family series aimed at the beginner or newcomer to botany, where we look at the features and characteristics of each family. In today's video, we'll be looking at the family Apiaceae, which was formerly known as the Umbeliferae, or the umbels, or put really simply, the carrot family. So it follows knowing your plant families is the first step in systematic identification, where plants can be differentiated down to a binomial given in the Latin form of genus and species, i.e. 2 parts. There are of course times when the features and characteristics of plants are so similar we need to drill down using dichotic keys, which we find in expert volumes such as Clive Stace, The Flora of the British Isles. And we'll be dealing with dichotic keys in more advanced episodes. In today's video, we will be looking at the very general features and characteristics which we can commit to memory and apply in the field to determine the plant family. In this slide, we compare the relative abundance globally of the plant families in comparison to the Apiaceae, which contain approximately some 3,800 species. We take a fleeting overview of species which are found in this family commonly in the wild, notably hogweed and cow parsley. We also take a fleeting view of those species relevant to horticulture in terms of their floristic value, herbal use, or use as spice. Likewise, we also identify those species in the family relevant to agriculture, such as celery, coriander, and parsley, and of course, not forgetting the star of the show, the carrot. Whilst all appears well with the umbels, if you are a forager or a recorder, you should be aware that plants such as hemlock and water hemlock contain highly toxic substances which the body's kidneys cannot metabolize and are therefore dangerous. Likewise, contact with the sap of the hogweeds, notably giant hogweed, poses a very significant irritant, particularly when exposed to high levels of ultraviolet light found in sunlight. In terms of the pollination strategy of the Apiaceae, it is very similar to the family Asteraceae, or the daisies, and their packed disc florets, insofar as they have a densely aggregated, flat-topped inflorescence, and of course an inflorescence differs from flower proper, but the outcome is the same, affecting an aggregation of a wide range of pollinators with short tongues. These tall plants elevate themselves above the ground layer and act as beacons, offering dinner plates of nectar known as stylopodiums. Turning now to the defining characteristic of this plant family, namely the umbel, an umbel being an inflorescence type where the stalks come to a central point. In order to achieve such aggregations, umbels can either be simple or compound. For the purpose of identifying plants in the family Apiaceae, it is well worth taking the time to study the morphology and anatomy of the inflorescences and any associated terminology. It will therefore become quickly apparent that the involucral bracts, the bracteoles, the bracts, their presence or absence, and whether the plant is a simple or compound umbel is important key characteristics. Turning now to another characteristic feature on the flower structure of Apiaceae, the stylopodium. The stylopodium is a swelling at the base of the stigma and style which openly secretes large quantities of nectar, making it available to short-tongued general insects. At first glance, you might be forgiven for mistaking these structures as the ovary of the flower. That is not the case, as the ovary of the flower of the Apiaceae is inferior, as can be seen from this particular slide where the flower has partly shed its petal. In these actinomorphic flowers, the stylopodia act as dinner plates of nectar, attracting a wide range of generalised insects. Turning to the leaf characteristics, the leaves can be bluntly divided as in the case of hogweed, or finely divided as in the case of cow parsley, so much so that they resemble ferns. The leaves are arranged alternatively up the stem and have bases which sheathe the stem, that being a defining characteristic of the Apiaceae. The stems are often hollow, but not always so. Turning now to the defining characteristics of the fruit and seed of the Apiaceae, which is sometimes required for keying. The dried fruit of a member of the family Apiaceae is known as a schizocarp, and the schizocarp will split into two halves known as a merocarp, each containing one seed. Each merocarp will have 5 ridges, and these ridges can be useful diagnostic features in keying difficult plants. Where it is necessary to make observations on the seed, these ridges on the merocarp can be thick and corky, filiform or broadly winged. You may recall from the wild carrot video we looked at the fruit and spiny merocarp and how it was adapted to be dispersed on the fur of animals. So let us conclude by summarising the characteristics of the Apiaceae. If you have a plant whose inflorescence is white or yellow and are typically arranged in a flat top cluster called umbels, if on that plant the flowers in the inflorescences have 5 petals, 2 styles and is largely actomorphic and contains bulbous nectar structures known as stylopodia, should that plant have leaves which alternate up the stem and are lobed or deeply divided and sheathe the stem at its base, should that plant, on examination of the dry fruit, split into 2 parts, each with 5 ridges containing 1 seed, then it is likely that the plant you have is within the family Apiaceae or the carrot family.